On the news tonight, protesters storm various centers across Nigeria, demand solution to economic hardship. Police imposes curfew in Borno and Yobe State as End Bad Governance protest turns violent. Lagos State government assures public servants of adequate security as head of service tells ministries, departments and agencies. And on the foreign scene, Russia frees U.S. journalists, 23 others, as part of an extensive swap between Moscow and the West. These and more shortly. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I am Adibimpe Omotayo. Now, heavy security presence have been noticed across the Federal Capital Territory as protesters converged on MKO Stadium, Abuja. Abuja Bureau Chief Adegboyega Arogbodo, who is monitoring the situation, reports.
Across the length and breadth of the nation's federal capital city could be described as an uneasy calm in the morning of the first day of the much talked about national protest against bad governance. While the roads leading to the main Abuja city from the satellite towns witnessed a large surge of vehicular traffic in the early hours, the security operatives were on guard at a distance of 2 kilometers to the city. On arriving in the city center, our crew visited the major areas and zones where people often converge as a melting pot, but they were all devoid of normal activities as businesses, banks, filling stations were all shut down. The Federal Secretariat was a ghost land as the major blocks were under lock and key. Meanwhile, as the day unfolded, the protesters gathered at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, where the Abuja court allowed them to stage the protest in the FCT. What we noticed here was that two factions of pro and anti-government protesters emerged with a chant of different tones and rhythms. When it was evident that the protesters were not receiving the needed attention, they walked towards the Eagle Square, a distance of about 5 kilometers from the Moshood Abiola Stadium. Arriving in the three armed zones, where the Eagle Square is located, the protesters were resisted from gaining entry to the Eagle Square by the combined efforts of the Nigerian police and the men of the Civil Defense Corps. This led to firing of canisters to disperse the protesters. The development, some said, was unbecoming of government security agencies.
Eagle Square, look at us. We are protesting peacefully. Look at them throwing tear gas at us. We did not do anything. We did not cause any harm. Police are throwing tear gas at us. We are hungry. Tinubu, please come and address us. Come and address us. We are hungry. Everybody is depressed. We are depressed in this country.
90% of ordinary Nigerians depend on to come out before you can eat. So, of course, the clamor for us to take to the streets, of course, does not worth it, to the best of my knowledge. With this call now, with this agitation, you know, of course, it has awakened the consciousness of government to really know that all these programs and policies that they are rolling out every day, of course, most of them does not get to the masses. And that is why people are being reactional now.
From the nation's federal capital city, Abuja, I am Adegboyega Arogbodo, reporting for Lagos Television News.
Thank you, Riga. Meanwhile, the Yobe state government has imposed a 24-hour curfew in Potiskum, Gashua and Nguru towns, where some hoodlums are taking advantage of the protest to vandalize, loot government and private properties. The special advisor to Governor Mai Malabuni on security matters, Dahuru Abdulsalam, asked the general public to abide by the curfew order and stay at home for peace to reign in the affected areas and the state at large. In Kano, the newly built Nigeria Communication Commission Industrial Park in Kano has been looted by hoodlums amidst a wave of nationwide protest against economic hardship. The FCT Center, scheduled for commissioning next week, was also set ablaze during the unrest. In response to the escalating violence, Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has declared a 24-hour curfew across the state. The Nigerian Police Force, in collaboration with other security agencies, also imposed a 24-hour curfew in Borno State. In Lagos Island, the End Bad Governance protesters converged on Lekki Tollgate on Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, but were quickly dispersed by the police. Correspondent Omomi Okewu has more.
With heavy security presence, these protesters say they are calling on government to pay attention to its 10-point demand, asking for reduction in fuel price and a solution to Nigeria's security challenges.
Demand have been sent across board what we want, or if the government can do the needful, at least we might reach a compromise.
The suffering is too much, to be very honest with you. Let me tell you categorically, I can actually feed myself for the next 1 month. What about other people around me that could not even eat the 3 square meal? So please, we are just here on behalf of all Nigerian youths to end the fuel scarcity, end everything, end bad governance in a nutshell.
We are not here to bring violence. We are begging Mr. President to consider we youth to address some things, to find solution for us to live, even though in the future.
Whenever we want to travel, we are scared. If you don't have money to pay an aeroplane, I think you know that. So that's why I want this MN to stop this kidnapping. Secondly, we don't have safe in Maiduguri. Over 15 years, they were killing us. And last 2 weeks ago, Boko Haram arrested some of our parents, 3 of them. Before they release one, we pay 500,000.
Thereafter, the commander of the police personnel gathered at the toll gate met with protesters to inform them of designated places of protest, which the toll gate is not a part of.
You have a right to your protest. But what we are saying is we should abide by the Constitution, we should abide by the law. The law says there are 2 designated places for protest. If you go outside that, you are already doing what is outside the law. And that will not be nice. Why not we make an arrangement to go to the right place?
Where is the right
and then Ganifa in and why are we not? What's happened there?
Yeah, everything is fine. You see,
then, but you know that this place is not part of.
I'm not aware. We only came here to check if our people are here.
After much appeal, police then dispersed the protesters by firing tear gas. Lagos State Police Commissioner then arrived to get a brief on the security situation while assuring protesters in designated areas of safety.
The court now says the order is not going to, subsist, that the order is no more in place, then they can hold on to the fact that, or to the opinion that the protest should take place anywhere they want to. But as far as we are here today, we have a court order and it's still subsisting, so we have to obey the court order.
Lagos Television also visited the Freedom Park on Campbell Street, Campus Street, Bow Street, and observed skeletal movements of people and vehicles. At the Balogun and Idumota major market, most shops and stores were under lock and key, with traders who refused to speak on camera say the fear of the protest turning violent didn't allow them to open their shops. While Namaste returned to the Lekki toll gate in Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, the Nigerian Police Force is asking Lagos residents to adhere strictly to the judgment of the Lagos High Court, which restricts protesters to the Gani Fawehinmi Freedom Park in Ojota and the Peace Park in Ketu. From the toll gate on Lagos Island, I am Omomi Okeru reporting for LTV News.
Thank you, Omomi. As expected, there was convergence of Nigerians at the Gani Fawehinmi Park in the Ojota area of Lagos State. Our correspondent, Omololu Rosonwo, has the details.
This convergence at the Gani Fawehinmi Park in Ojota readily reminds one of the October 2020 EndSARS protests. To avoid anarchy, a Lagos High Court ruling restricted the protesters to Gani Fawehinmi Park Ojota and Freedom Park on the island, but these ones at Ojota have refused to make use of the Ojota Park, with preference for the service lane on Ikorodu Road by the interchange.
There is a climate of fear, not by the protesters, but by the government itself, that you have this number of people to testify to the courage and resilience of our people. When you're coming from town, you find out that the city is almost dead, it's paralyzed. The people who stay back, it's been turned more or less into a kind of a protest too, because the offices are not opened. You understand? But there are people who are saying, we can't be hungry and keep quiet. We can't have bad roads and keep quiet. We can't have poor lights and keep quiet. We can't have no houses and keep quiet.
Reports have it that there are different groups that made it to Ojota to show their displeasure.
Imagine the money I'm using to buy 50 cartons of this before is what I'm using to buy 10 cartons of that same product. Enough of these problems. It is not a psychological problem for each and every Nigerian. The reason why we are here today is not because of anything. It's because we want a better Nigeria.
One thing is clear, there is security presence comprising the DSS, the military at strategic points, plainclothes personnel and men of the Nigeria police to maintain law and order.
This is quite democratic. What I've seen is quite democratic. So although so far, for the benefit of the security people too, they've not attacked us and have not allowed other people to attack us, even though they are keeping a distance away. They're supposed to throw a ring around us.
There are indications that the protest may continue for many more days till the 10th of August, but that undoubtedly will tell on the internally generated revenue and other socio-economic challenges. Omololu Rosonwo, LTV News.
Freedom come, by struggle, freedom come.
Also in Alausa Secretariat and environs, a group of protesters were seen on a peaceful protest against hard economic situation in the country to the Lagos State House of Assembly. The protesters, however, were resisted from gaining access into the House of Assembly by the Nigerian Police Force, asking them to go to the approved protest locations. The protesters speak about the situation of country and the essence of the protest.
So the essence of this gathering is to let the government know that we are tired of their policies and we are tired of their governance. The system is not working. Ever since the president assumed office, if you check it, inflation skyrocketed to the highest. People are suffering. Prices of things are actually very, very exorbitant. Insecurity increased.
The cost of living is high beyond our reach. So we can't afford food, we can't afford electricity, we can't afford even imported products. You know, and there's insecurity in the land. So these demands are very simple because the executive can single-handedly reverse subsidy, reverse electricity tariff, and reverse custom duty. The protest is going on in Yobe. The protest is in Osun, is in Ondo, is everywhere, is in the east. So nobody should come and tell us that it is some Eastern people that hate the regime because they are not Yorubas. We are Yorubas. And many people are Igbos. My brother here is Edo. So many tribes are here.
To last for 10 days, the protest against hard economic situation began today across the nation. In Ikorodu, our Bureau Chief Adesegun Egap reports that a visit to major areas in the division shows everywhere was peaceful and calm.
The proposed countrywide demonstration to protest against alleged bad governance took a different dimension in Ikorodu division. Major areas were largely deserted, streets were free of traffic, while security operatives were observed at strategic points across the division.
It's peaceful and calm because many people are here, they are going into their various work. The protest is just peaceful, and we do not allow the protest to go beyond the limit of the way the government will say it and say, they are the one that are protesting, they are still the one that are still looting the shops, and they are still the one causing riots in the society.
Still suffer from what we refuse to speak out now. So I'm being sincere that all of us just need to come out and speak out at the right time.
The division remains unaffected, with residents going about their daily businesses. They demand full transparency and accountability in governance.
There's hardship. We suffer in this country. The suffering is too much. It should help us. We are suffering in this country. What is it? We cannot feed. We cannot feed 3 times daily. We cannot feed our children. I don't expect this protest. It's something that is supposed to have find solution for us. It's not until it's become violence.
And what we are pleading from the government, that they should help us. They should please help we, the masses, that we are trying to bring out our mind, to pour our mind out. They should help us to reduce every cost of things in this Nigeria.
From Itamaga, Ijede, Ogolonto to Ikorodu main garage, the situation remains the same as the entire division agree not to participate in the protest.
With the situation on ground now, youth have learned with the situation of NSAS. We are not even going to allow any protest to be hijacked from anybody. It is just be sincere. It is just the sincerity we need to know within ourselves. We are not going to allow. A lot of things happened during the NSAS. Our parents, a lot of things were hijacked during the NSAS. And youths that hijacked the protest during the NSAS are sent by this set of government, people in the government.
The federal government recognizes the right to peaceful protests, but wary of the dangers associated with demonstrations that are vulnerable to being hijacked by criminals. Adeshegun Igop, LTV News.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Adegoke Fayode, says any protest activity that exceeds 6 p.m. will be termed as criminal. Fayode was speaking after monitoring protests at different locations such as Gani Fayemi Park, Ojota, Surulere, Lekki Tollgate, and others. Maugbe Josu reports.
These protesters at various locations in Lagos defied the protesters and residents in Lagos. Commissioner of Police Adegoke Fayode embarked on area surveillance to monitor some strategic places in the states.
We went on surveillance into strategic places like Kirikiri Prison, the maximum prison in Kirikiri, Ikoyi Prison, the park, the Gani Fayemi Park, and the Freedom Park where the court says the protesters should converge. Visited other areas, and my observation is that Lagos remains very peaceful.
The CP thereafter visited some areas where protesters who disobeyed the court order converged to express their grievances on the hardship in the country.
These are the police, and this police here, they are meant, according to law, they are meant to protect us.
We made our deployments as early as 3 a.m. and our men who are well positioned took charge of strategic location and vulnerable points. And by the time the protesters came out, they saw our men everywhere. And we have been engaging them. They have been very peaceful, and our men have been very fantastic. So far, the protest has been devoid of any form of violence. So it's been very satisfactory.
Fayode further stated that there is time frame for the protest to hold.
The protesters are largely domiciled at Gani Fayemi Park. We don't have many pockets of protests all over the place, but they are mainly at the Gani Fayemi Park. The few ones that we saw protesting in isolated area, we went to them, we convinced them, we dialogued with them, and they have dispersed, and with the promise that they will move to the park. And the time frame is 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
The nationwide End Bad Governance protest, which commenced August 1, 2024, is expected to extend to August 10, 2024. Maugbe Josu, LTV News.
Still ahead. Lagos State government assures public servants of adequate security as head of service towards MDAs. That's in a moment. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Now, as part of measures to ensure adequate security for public servants in Lagos State, Head of Service Olabode Aguru was on tour of the Secretariat to assure members of staff who were at work of their safety in the face of a protest. While addressing them, Aguru reiterates Governor Sanwo-Olu's commitment to a peaceful and prosperous Lagos. He says the state government has deployed security agents within and outside the Secretariat to protect lives and avoid destruction of properties. The Lagos HOS also thanked members of staff for their resilience, dedication to work, and unwavering support to the government. Those who accompanied the head of service are permanent secretaries, heads of ministerial agencies of government, and directors. Now, the Lagos State Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, has commended the professionalism of the staff of Lagos Television. Speaking after his appearance on our breakfast program, The Conversation, the Deputy Governor assures that the state government will give a state-owned television station the necessary support to make her compete favorably with other broadcasts.
We all know LTV, the standards that was there, and you can see the quality of the team that interviewed me for that program. They understand Lagos, they understand people's need. So it's hey, if I have to score it. There are challenges that I've seen here that we need to look at, and I think we will take that up.
Major Lagos Television, Adeshola Kusoko, appreciated the visit while assuring that a lot more will be done to enhance staff productivity.
Every member of staff here, either on air or off air, we are sure of their high level of performance. We have our challenges. Some other media houses might not be able to dish out what we're dishing out based on what we have. But even with the little we have, we're still above, par, above the level. So I'm glad that he saw it. I'm glad that he acknowledged it. And it's also a booster for us to do more. The ability to actually move around and behave like a father, going through those problems with us, chatting with us, gives us a lot of hope. I can assure you that even while we're waiting for the miracles to happen, this move, this visit, his words would be like a fill for the next few weeks and next few months for the staff.
The visit of the Deputy Governor was a welcome development for members of Lagos Television. Now, the Lagos State Government is determined to improve the quality of life of its citizens through provision of massive infrastructure and social welfare and security. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Okpe George, affirms this at the 2025 Consultative Forum for the Badagry Division of the State. Badagry Bureau Chief Samuel Dada reports.
It's the turn of Lagosians in the Badagry Division of the State to be part of the 2025 Budget Forum. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Okpe George, underscores the general performance of the 2024 budget, especially as it affects the Badagry Division of the state.
With Teams Plus agenda, we looked at the youth and ensuring that with the plus now, it means no one is left behind. Youth employment, youth engagement, gender equality as well. So a lot of that was encompassed into people living with disabilities. So a lot of that was encompassed to our planning process for 2024, and we look to taking it into our 2025 budget as well.
One after the other, participants chip in their ideas and opinions, all geared towards a robust, impactful budget next year.
Scientists are telling us that we are in danger. This climate change has already started to cause problems for us. It is already affecting our health, which ultimately will make government spend more money on health facilities.
It is necessary for the government to have focus on the Obas matter, this Lagos State. They are the father of everybody. So they have to take care of them very well. In the area of even their salary, they just have small stipend. It's not enough for them to maintain the palace.
We don't have public toilets in Lagos State. Go to any part of Lagos now, you see all these people defecating, urinating, and if you have almost about 50 public toilets and with 100,000, with that money they are generating, you can use that money to give them their salaries. And you have provided a job for some people.
Now it's talk and do. In 2024, he make a promise that want to give a market money, and he did it. He give it to us. Then we appeal to our governor that we market women and men, we need housing. For example, he just opened this Ego housing. We need it. We need slots. If you can carry us along, we are going to do the needful something to get it.
Government officials responded accordingly to some questions, observations, and concerns raised, assuring residents of the Division of Improved Infrastructure and Economic Development in next year's budget.
We shall remain dedicated to the successful completion of ongoing projects, implementation of pivotal and iconic ones that will make our infrastructure robust and resilient, thereby creating an economic opportunity for all residents.
We want to be able to capture everyone and know that these are the skills we have in the labor market. So you can, at any point in time, go onto a portal, log on, you can see the available skill sets, available jobs, and you can then have that match to what it is you want to do.
Stakeholders here hope that inputs generated at this forum, if properly harnessed, would be of immense benefit to the division in particular and the state in general. Samuel Dada, LTV News.
Government at all levels must create schemes to support artisans in enhancing resources they need to succeed. Member representing Kushofe Federal Constituency in the National Assembly, Kafilat Ogbara, gave the charge at a support scheme for artisans in Kushofe constituency. Ikorodu Bureau Chief Adeshegun Igop reports.
To transform the informal sector and revolutionize access to resources for artisans and small businesses to thrive, Honorable Kafilat Ogbara, member representing Kushofe Federal Constituency in the National Assembly, is collaborating to provide core workshop and tool empowerment initiative, creating an enabling environment for artisans.
It is true that we are trying to ensure that a lot of people become entrepreneurs. They are trained in different fields, apart from going to school. But what happens afterwards, after the training? So a lot of people are handicapped. So this is why this co-workshop and tool empowerment hub will be filling that gap. We are going to be opening a work tool shop, a joint work tool shop, where people can collaborate and work together in a workspace.
The legislator adds that it is to empower artisans and grant access to essential toolkits.
Ensuring that all our artisans in Kushofe Federal Constituency is a national thing actually, but we are taking off from here. I'm going to be, collaborating with most of my members in the House of Rep as well, so that we can spread it across the whole country. So this will enable all our artisans in my constituency to be able to rent the tools at very, very subsidized rates.
This initiative is done for the people generally, for everybody to have access to whatever they need, mainly the vulnerable, and the marginalized, people that are not included in the equation from time.
Officials of Lagos State Safety Commission and other stakeholders affirm the workplace will create availability of skilled workforce for domestic industries.
It's first of this kind in these constituencies by our HMR calling us around here to, especially all the informal sectors like artisans, traders and others. So this one will motivate us.
Whatever tools, training that the artisans will be given today, they follow the set guidelines that the Lagos State government through the Lagos State Safety Commission will be giving them. Also, the Safety Commission will also be involved in their workspace design so that the tools or the learning tool or the equipment that they were given today will be well used.
In an advanced country, those who have skills even more paid than those who don't have. So, and at a time like that, I think it's a good one that we are looking towards that area.
With this initiative, significant challenges faced by many artisans and small businesses in accessing tools and workspaces needed for their operations will be addressed. Adesegun Igop, LTV News.
Now, Senator Wasiu Eshilokunsani, representing Lagos Central Senatorial District, wants Nigerians to embrace dialogue for peaceful coexistence. We're speaking at an empowerment program for his constituents. We have details in Jamiu Shunibu's report.
The atmosphere in Lagos Central Senatorial District was filled with excitement as constituents gathered to receive their empowerment package from Senator Wasiu Eshilokunsani, representing Lagos Central Senatorial District. Senator Wasiu Eshilokunsani says the initiative is a symbol of a renewed hope and opportunity for the residents to make ends meet.
In line with Mr. President's desire to boost small and medium-scale enterprises in Nigeria, I want to assure you of my commitment to facilitating livelihood enhancement programs and projects to the Lagos Central Senatorial District for the benefit of all of us.
Beneficiaries of the program expressed their gratitude for the senators' efforts, noting that the resources provided will significantly impact their lives.
Great, we achieved it. Like this freezer, I didn't have it before, and I've gotten it. So thank you very much.
The people of Lagos to use the empowerment equipment as they are directed, or give it to people that can need it, so that you can do to other people.
Beneficiaries make use of it so that they be able to be an employer of labor too, and not to go somewhere else to go and beg for money. With this, they have been empowered, and it's a token of friendship for all of them.
Make good use of what we have given them. They must not sell them. They must put them to use.
Concerning the planned protest, the federal lawmaker wants peaceful and constructive methods to address the grievances.
They should allow anybody to go about their normal businesses. They should, whoever want to protest, should protest, but not disturb any other person, and must not engage in any destruction.
Senator Wasiu Eshilokunsani's appeal for peaceful protest and his initiative are pointers to the importance of constructive dialogue and community support.
Coming up, more farmers in Lagos receive federal government's fertilizer intervention to boost production. That's in Business News. Join us again.
On Business News tonight, the Lagos State government is set to meet about 3,000 beneficiaries for its pre-internship training and employability skills. Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Akinyemi Ajigbota, first said this at the official launch of the Graduate Internship Placement Program, a critical component of the Empower Lagos initiative of the ministry. The Lagos State government hopes to address challenges of youth employment and equipping youth with skills and necessary experiences to strive in the competitive job market. The ministry also calls on the organized private sector, including businesses and institutions, to join it by accepting interns into its workforce.
Farmers from across Ekpe Federal Constituency got a boost from the federal government with the consignment of fertilizer bags to boost crop output. Member House of Representatives from Ekpe Federal Constituency, Honorable Wale Raji, stressed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is assiduously working towards improving the lot of farmers by encouraging and modernizing farming in the country.
He has sent these fertilizers. This is the first batch. You are getting more. And we will also touch other areas of agriculture, those in aquaculture, those in poultry, in piggery, and poultry. In actual fact, because of the commitment of Mr. President to the development of agriculture and addressing the problem of insecurity associated with the practice of animal husbandry, cattle breeding, a new ministry has been created.
Chairman of Ekpe Local Government and Eredo Local Council Development Area, Princess Sura Animashaun and Monsura Akinre, as well as representatives of farmers in Ekpe, described the fertilizer gift as a timely intervention.
I'm very, very happy, sir, because supporting farmers now is just the way to go for us in Nigeria as a whole. And I believe our farmers will make good use of this fertilizer. I know they will not sell it. I know, I'm very certain about that. And because I'm proud of them.
They thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Honorable Wale Raji for the free fertilizers as a way to the promised second batch consignment of fertilizers. Olumide Ojo, LTV News.
Nigeria after losing 70-65 to Australia. The J9 League 2023-2024 season was recently concluded with Dynamic Football Academy crowned champions after the final match day held in Ojokoro. Dynamic FA were confirmed champions of the league after Vitalia Football Academy recorded 1-0 win, defeating Shuffle Select Football Academy in the final game of the season, decided at Olera Football Pitch at LSPDC Housing Estate. Participating in the league for the first time, Dynamic FA capped off a remarkable season, going all the way to claim the coveted title.
Being the champion of the tournament wasn't easy because our first match we lost. While we are in the 11th position. From 11th position we came to 5th. While from 5th then we topped the position. But being the most valuable player, it wasn't easy also. But I always give my best on the field of play.
The grassroots league instituted by J9 Sports over 7 years ago was supported by the executive chairman of Ojokoro LCDA, Honorable Hamed Idowu Tijani, to engage the youth through sports. Speaking at the closing ceremony and presentation of individual awards, medals and trophy, stakeholders acknowledged the impact of the grassroots tournament, describing the league as a veritable platform to promote local talent.
We thank God that we have come to the conclusion of this league. And we felt great because we found the youthful community that we were expecting to play or participate in this tournament. So that is our joy, because our joy, our aim, our vision and mission is to take them off the streets, keep them engaging, keep them productive, keep them creative and innovative. And that's what we achieved tonight.
I've been witnessing the tournament in the first edition down to the 7th edition. I can tell you categorically that the tournament is second to none. When you look at it from the angle of adding value to youth or giving back to the community, I can tell you J9 FA has been something you can never turn down. It's second to none.
In his own remarks, Honorable Tijani stated that the developmental tournament is one of numerous initiatives designed to engage the youth in the LCDA, stating that the league had enhanced grassroots football in Ojokoro.
This is one of the areas where you can empower them, where they can take their own profession. And that is why you see that the local government, since the inception of our administration, we have been doing everything humanly possible to support any youth that is ready to involve when it comes to anything sport activities.
Coordinator J9 Sport Chuks Odinachi announced that the top 8 teams in the league will compete in the newly created FA Cup, while the Community Shield will be contested by the champions of the league and FA Cup.
on the foreign scene, Russia has freed Wall Street Journal journalist Ivan Gershkovich and ex-U.S. Marine Paul Whelan as part of an extensive prisoner swap between Moscow and the West. U.S. President Joe Biden, who confirmed this, says the deal that secured their freedom was a feat of diplomacy. Biden added that it obtained the release of 16 people from Russia, including 5 Germans and 7 Russian political prisoners. Biden, who spoke to them on the telephone from the Oval Office, later confirmed that the released prisoners had made it from Russia to Turkey and will soon be on their way to the United States. The Wall Street Journal welcomed the release of Gershkovich after he was handed to the United States authorities in the Turkish capital, Ankara. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. The news, a recap of our major stories. Protesters stormed various centers across Nigeria to demand solution to economic hardship. The Nigerian police force has imposed curfew in Borno and Yobe states as end bad governance protests turned violent. The Lagos State government has assured public servants of adequate security as a head of service toward ministries, departments, and agencies. On the foreign scene, we also told you that Russia has freed a U.S. journalist and 25 other prisoners as part of an extensive swap between Moscow and the West. Please connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. And for our parting shot, don't place your mistakes on your head. It can weigh you down and crush you. Instead, place them under your feet and use them as a new platform to view your horizon. Please remember to call Lagos toll-free line 767 or 112 in case of emergencies. Thank you for watching. I am Adebimpe Omotayo.